Welcome to the first week anniversary of the new hit TV show, History Mystery. I'm your host, President Franklin Pierce, 14th President of the United States. But you probably already knew that since I'm so famous. Our first guest is Emperor Titus Flavius Vespasian. He's special, of course, but not as special as me. However, he is regarded as one of the most successful Roman emperors, known for his reconstruction, economic integrity, and military campaigns.
Thanks, Mr. Pierce. We're too kind. It's great to be on the show.
No problem. So let's cut to the chase. It's what all the viewers want to know about. I mean you. So start by telling us about your childhood and your family.
All right. Well, Frank, I was born on November 17th in the year 9 in Arete. My childhood was kind to me as I lived comfortably, for I came from several generations of tax collectors. But frankly, Frank, I had a dim future as a political player, as no other family member of mine had ever been in the Senate. Since I was urged by my mother at a very early age, I decided to invest some time into politics.
That's almost as interesting as when I was President of the United States of America.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Well, on to another thing I wanted to ask you about. Why do people remember you? What makes you as special as someone like me?
Well, that's a long, long story, but if you'd like, I'll explain it to you all, from how I obtained my power to how I restored the treasury and the many influential structures I created over the years.
Well, for starters, we'll stick to how you obtained your power. Then later in the show, we'll move on to what you did with it.
Well, it all began when I rapidly raised my power due to the favor I had garnered from new princeps. After gaining some credibility, I was placed in charge of a legion for the invasion of Britain. I first appeared at the Battle of Midway in AD 43, which was one of my first important and successful battles. From then on, I encountered the enemy 30 times, subdued at least 2 tribes, and conquered the Isle of Wight. This helped me reach the status of consul in AD 51 during the time of Emperor Claudius. However, I decided to take a temporary withdrawal from political life. These events made me a recognizable figure to all and were my true and first beginnings to power.
I see. Well, I've had my fair share of adventures and conquests, because I'm President of the United States, or at least I was.
Seeing as how your adventure was over 1,000 years after mine, yeah, I probably don't know much about it, or might.
Obviously. Well, it's nothing new. Everyone knows about me. But anyway, I thought you reigned and got most of your power during Nero's time, not Claudius.
When Nero took control, I was once again in government as a senior senator. For some reason, the guy just liked me. A pivotal part of me advancing in power was when riots in Jerusalem and Caesarea began. Nero placed me in charge of 60,000 Roman soldiers and allied troops. I won a decisive yet also quick battle against the rebels. However, internal conflicts began when Nero committed suicide while I was away. Many generals wanted to become emperor, but so did I. What I believe is a strong contribution as to why people think I am great is since out of all the generals, I came out on top and was the emperor.
Well, out of many, many political candidates, I'm the one who came out on top as President of the United States. Well, that portion of the show covered your rise to power. Now, what did you do with your power?
Some viewers may be unclear just how chaotic this period was. Well, basically, Nero was an awful person that could almost be compared to you. He caused mass confusion, and it seemed as if the basic structure of Roman lifestyle would collapse. Immediately, I set out to work, most importantly, on the financial problems that were ongoing from the previous ruler, Nero. To start off, while I revoked imperial immunities for government-seated offices, meaning that they would have to pay fees and taxes like everyone else. Furthermore, I controlled the import and export of certain commodities to control their prices and create a stable cost instead of a fluctuating one. Lastly, I increased certain taxes just enough to make sufficient income for the state, but also small enough to keep the poor and middle class from rebelling. This combination of frugality and insightful taxation allowed my policy and administration to flourish in a devastating time.
Well, that's almost as cool as being the President of the US of A. Well, when we come back, we'll talk more about the changes you made. But now, a quick word from my sponsor.
This is an innovative machine built by none other than the Navy SEAL Commander, Mr. Diffley.
The machine focuses on a full-body workout for a fuller flex. Big Boys magazine rates it among the greatest of all workout machines. Mr. Diffley is a genius not only in history, but in the world of working out. We guarantee your satisfaction or your money a quarter back. Here's some people who can say how great the flex has helped them.
I used to be a little boy, picked on, but now I'm a big, strong man. The Diff Master Flex has given me the fullest flex. I highly recommend it.
Now the ladies can't get enough of me. Well, before they couldn't either, but now, just buy this product.
You think the Diff Master Flex machine doesn't work? Just look at this body.
Wow, the show must not be doing well if we only got one lousy, useless commercial. Anyway, folks, we're back with our favorite emperor, Vespasian. Now we'll discuss the wonderful thing he's done with the money he's gained. So Vespasian, what did you do?
Well, I began many building projects, all of which were large and very extravagant. They raised pride among the common people and made the emperor as a whole most beautiful and awe-inspiring.
Okay, so can you be a little bit more specific for me? I doubt they were as good as any of my building projects, but who knows? Maybe you got lucky.
Well, to start off, I reconstructed the entire capital city. I finished the construction of the deified Claudius. I built the Forum of Vespasian and increased population satisfaction with my rule. The structures created jobs for the poor, which helped me garner their support. Out of all the buildings, one I'm extremely happy is the Colosseum. Although I did not see its completion due to death, I saw from the underworld how my sons carried it out efficiently and successfully. Anyways, along with those jobs, it was a structure that almost symbolizes my rule and was one of the highlights that many remember of my reign. At the Colosseum, various battles took place that captured everyone's attention, from men to ladies, from plebs to patricians. The fights inside increased the happiness of the masses and was basically an outlet for the anger which would have been directed straight to the government. I completely believe that the Colosseum was one of the greatest buildings ever completed, and I'm proud of my role in its structure.
Well, someone here's a little cocky. But do you think there would be decency? Do you think there would be less decency because of the Colosseum and all the fighting in it?
If you want to know some small details, there were some other motives to build the Colosseum and the other buildings. Along with the previously mentioned benefits, I tried to help the Roman citizens forget about the past awful rule of Nero. I did this by carefully choosing my building site for the Colosseum. The site I chose was on top of Nero's infamous Golden House. By building it there, I tried to erase the bad memories of Nero's reign and help my people contentedly get on with their lives. All I did was for the better future of Rome and its people.
The story was almost as touching as the time I took 100 bullets, 20 cannonballs, and 10 bombs from my country. But I seem to have gotten a better understanding of you, a kind, hard-working man. So now we'll begin to wrap up this show by asking you how it is you came to die.
Well, unlike many emperors who died very harmful and violent deaths, I died a peaceful one. Most emperors were power-hungry and sometimes crazy like Nero, but I guess the gods have deemed me a great ruler and gave me a nice and serene death.
That's what I like to hear. Good things happen to good people. I truly thank you for this experience, and I know for a fact that you enjoyed my company as well.
Yes, it was a unique experience, and I wish all the best for your future episodes.
Thanks again. Let's hear it for our Emperor Vespasian. Yay!